There we go. What's the name of the show again?
The Mary Elizabeth Jones Variety Hour.
That's right. Welcome to the brand new season, 2023 season.
Yes.
Yeah. Are we on? I think we're on the... I think we're on, but the... I think we're live, but the audience is on tape.
I don't think we're on because the record button's showing.
No, I see it up there.
Oh.
We're on.
Hello, everybody.
In this scintillating television. Now.
Hello, everybody.
So, you're Mary?
Yes.
And I'm Kaye Lazar.
Yep, good.
Yeah, let me tell you something. We haven't done a show in a while. I got the sun in my eye, so it looks like
Yeah.
I don't want to look like Ray Charles here with sunglasses
Yeah,
on. So
I know.
I'm not gonna. So I'm just going to squint.
I know.
It's going to look like I haven't had any sleep. Well, actually, I've had plenty of sleep. I have too much sleep. Let me tell you something. To me, sleep is the biggest bore.
Yeah.
I get nothing done when I'm
boring.
asleep.
It is boring. Yes.
My mom and dad always wanted me to in bed at like 8 o'clock or less, and then I was wide awake. I'd be reading comic books. This is before computers and phones, so I'd be reading comic books in the dimness of the light. And they said, if you don't stop reading those comic books in the dimness of the night, we're going to turn off the hall light altogether. I'm still afraid of the dark. I don't like. And then of course the morning would come. And I would be exhausted because I think when you're a kid, you need like 12 hours of sleep or at least 10 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
As you get older, you get, and then it depends where I am. It looks, if I'm in a comfortable room and everything with the lights full blast on and the TV on, I can get by with 5-6 hours of sleep, which is perfect for me.
Yeah.
If I sleep more than that, then I just have a headache all day. Oh, by the way, I cannot take aspirin like I used to. Used to be I had a headache, took aspirin. I tried to tell that I could get rid of my headache. I didn't get rid of my headache. I didn't get rid of my headache until I took a nap. Because a lot of headaches I get have little to do with sleep. Have little to do with whatever causes a headache, but it has to do more with not enough sleep or too much sleep, or not enough to eat. Usually not enough to eat. Usually if you skip breakfast and like around noontime or 1 o'clock, I still haven't eaten anything, and I go, and probably 2 o'clock I get the worst headache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I usually take ibuprofen now, so.
Ibuprofen, yeah. A lot of people do that. I have liver problems with cholesterol and stuff, as most people do as they get older. And I used to take Tylenol. And Tylenol, they said, listen, if you have problems with your liver compared to your head, if you're sick in the head... We have a lot of audiences here. We have a lot of geese here. If you, they said, steer clear of acetaminophen, which is Tylenol.
Yeah.
I've never trusted Tylenol since they had all those cyanide laced things, which they never caught the guy.
Wow.
You probably see all these geese behind us or in front of us.
Yeah.
This is we're sitting. That's our band.
Yeah.
Also, they congregate over here. This is the place for them to be. This is like their Las Vegas, I think. If you're a Canadian goose.
Yeah.
Let me chase after this guy. Hey, come on, hey! We're trying to do a show here. Hey!
Oh Lord.
He didn't. Well, he's quieted down a little bit until he doesn't.
Yeah.
And I lost my train of thought. Good night, everyone. Show's over. I've run out of things to talk about. So, let's see. We haven't done a show, a Mary Elizabeth show, since Labor Day or something.
I think it was around November.
around Thanksgiving time.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Thanksgiving, I was driving in the sticks. I was driving in, where was it? Hanover County. And guess what I saw? A wild turkey. I'd never seen one before.
Wow.
First, I see buzzards all the time. They call them turkey buzzards. But this actually was a turkey. Sort of like the turkey you see on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Only it wasn't big it was like a skinny turkey. a wild turkey, I think, is skinny because they don't fatten them up for slaughter.
Yeah.
And what happens is, so I think we're a little crooked here. So then what happened was, it's like a German expressionism. It's like a Fritz Lang film when we had it on its side, like a Batman.
Right.
Batman, the Joker's lair.
Right.
Anyway, so I see this wild turkey, and I almost felt like, I wish I had a gun. We could have had Thanksgiving early this year. But it was, I tell you what a wild turkey kind of looks like. It looks like a regular turkey. They don't really fly, or if they have wings, but they don't really fly that well, I don't think. They're like chickens. And what happened is that, you know what a peacock looks like?
Yeah.
It looks like a peacock without all the big feathers. Just the body of the peacock.
Yeah.
The peahen, I guess they call them.
Yeah.
And so I saw, I love bird watching myself. I just love to see birds.
Yeah.
Anytime I'd see a cardinal or a blue jay or something, I'd say, hey, everybody.
Yeah.
That's probably the second wildest thing I've seen in the wild. The first wildest thing was I was at the beach, Virginia Beach, a few years ago, and just looking at the waves coming in, and all of a sudden a dolphin just jumped out and you don't usually talk to people at the beach. You usually kind of stick to your own little crowd.
Yeah.
But everybody turned to themselves and became friends. Hey, did you see that? Did you see that? And one kid, I didn't see it. They say, well, look up from your phone once in a while, and you would have seen something amazing. So I try to, I try to sleep. I don't get a lot done sleeping. I actually have the lights on. I have the stereo on. I listen to music. I have the radio on. The TV on. Well, I mean, I don't have them all on at once, but usually one of those things on. So when I wake up, at least I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I have dreams, like if YouTube is on, and I don't know if that chocolate rainbow guy shows up on YouTube, while they're just running stuff from YouTube,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, why is the chocolate rainbow guy in my dream? Is he my? I never met this guy, and then of course then I look at, then when I wake up, I go, I do the what was playing while I was, that guy showed up.
Yeah.
Now, how do you sleep?
I just put YouTube on.
Yeah.
And then I would watch like massage videos, like people giving massage and stuff.
Oh, that puts you to sleep?
Yeah.
I thought the whole point of those massage videos was to look at the people getting a massage. Usually they're naked or something. If you're asleep, you can't see them. You're just getting the pornography for the blind. I saw that. Speaking of massage and exercise, there's a New Yorker cartoon I can't get out of my head. A lot of New Yorker cartoons have to do with sometimes unsavory things like the end of the world and end of days and a guy with a beard, or a knight, a knight in a dungeon or something. Whoa!
I know.
You see
whoa,
it?
Yeah.
So anyway, knights in a dungeon or something, and there was one. It was a guy. Someone was watching television. There was a movie on, and there was someone on a rack being stretched.
Yeah.
It was a form of torture in those days.
Yeah.
And there are two women in like leotards, that do yoga and stuff.
Yeah.
Says, and this one girl says to the one woman says to the other, says, I think. Did you ever think when you see those people on the rack in a medieval Middle Ages types of tortures? Said right before their body breaks apart, it must feel really good to stretch that good. I can't get out of my head. Yeah, probably there's that wonderful stretch, like they do in yoga,
Yeah.
or aerobics. Then the last one, you just break apart,
Yeah.
like in a Braveheart or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were in New York. Tell me about New York.
I was there back in January during New Year's Day. And
Did you go to the? Did you see the ball drop?
No, we didn't get to that part because we weren't there that night.
Oh,
We left.
that was
after.
in December. That's in December, really.
Yeah.
Be technical, yeah.
Yeah, but we went there the day after.
The day after, just when everyone leaves.
Yeah.
I got the whole Times Square to myself.
And you know what? the really good news about it
Yeah.
is I got to pose in front of the Rockefeller Center tree
Oh, okay. Yeah.
before they
that's good.
took it down.
Before they took
a
it
couple
down.
days after.
Yeah.
So.
On the 5th day, on the 12th day of Christmas,
Yeah.
January 5th. That's when they take it down.
Yeah.
That's quite a tree.
Yeah.
It's the biggest tree I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I was blessed to get a picture of it. So.
Let me tell you something. There's if you watch like the phony issues people talk about on like Fox News and stuff, they always talk about the war on Christmas, and there's going to be no more, and then they don't even let you say Merry Christmas. Who doesn't? Everyone says Merry Christmas.
I say Merry Christmas.
You might say Happy Holidays, and that's
Yeah.
and people are insulted. It's not a Happy Holiday. It's a Merry Christmas. Don't you know anything? I
Yeah.
said, well, there's a lot of holidays going on that time. You don't know what the people are saying. If they're, if they celebrate Christmas, say Merry Christmas, and no one's offended.
And if you celebrate Hanukkah, you celebrate
If you
Hanukkah.
celebrate
If you
Ramadan,
celebrate Kwanzaa, you celebrate
Kwanzaa,
Kwanzaa.
if you celebrate, I don't know, Chris Christopherson's birthday, which I think is in December.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you.
Yeah. He was married to Rita Coolidge.
That's right.
So.
That's right.
And they have a really good album together, too.
Yeah. Too bad the album didn't last as long as the marriage could have. But anyway, gosh, there's all these geese everywhere. There's a guy with a dog here, and I think he's scaring all the geese. I had a cat in the house once. We had a pet cat, and I once played a sound effects record, and eventually a dog was barking, ruff, 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 ruff. And the cat went crazy, started going all over the place, and
Wow.
threw up.
Wow.
And when my mom found out about it, we thought, at first, being a 10-year-old, we thought it was funny. And then my mom says, you clean it up. You made the cat throw up because cats don't like dogs. Don't try to scare. Don't try. I think, what animals like dogs? I think only people like dogs. All other animals are scared of dogs.
I love all animals.
You love all animals?
Yeah.
You like rats? You like snakes?
I don't like snakes.
You like sharks? I'll tell you what would really scare me is a bear. If I ever saw a bear, I don't know what I would do. I'll tell you the scariest I was seeing an animal was I would talk about animals. The scariest I was seeing an animal was I saw a bull.
Wow.
Now a bull, doesn't sound all that scary, but what happened was I was in Goochland and there's a lot of highways in the rural areas, and right in the middle of the street was a bull.
Wow.
And the bull looked like it was mad and it was going to charge a car in front of me. So I just turned around. And I, for some reason, even in my car, I thought the bull would outrun me, but the bull didn't do anything. So I stopped at the first gas station I saw, which was like maybe 2 miles. Everything is far apart out in the sticks. And I said, "Hey, there's a bull! There's a bull in the middle of the road with a ring in its nose and everything, and snorting and everything." And some guy says, "Oh, I know what bull it is. That bull is always trying to get out of his pen." And I guess he got out of his pen. We sometimes we just have to call the animal shelter on. So then all of a sudden, just as I was saying this in the window, it was almost like a movie. You see all these police cars going that direction, headed for the bull. So I said, I'm going to hang around here until they catch that bull. But bulls. I once walked through out in the country. I once had to walk through a cow field, and I didn't see any bulls, but there were a lot of cows. And one of the cows are all that different from the bulls, and they can charge you if they. I was told by my grandmother, who was a farm girl. She said, never cross a bull, never cross a cow, because a cow will never. A cow tends to be kind of a placid type animal, but if you make her mad. All cows are female. If you make her mad, she will. She may charge you. And never want to do. Horses I've seen, but horses tend to stick to themselves unless you try to pet them or something.
Wow.
I was always told about horses: never get behind a horse. Might kick you in the head and kill you. When you see that Jackass show, you see them fooling around with horses and they kick them in the head and everyone's laughing. I don't think it's funny in real life.
Right.
So yeah, so I've have you ever been scared by an animal?
Sometimes.
Yeah, what animals have you been scared of?
There's a couple dogs that were like mean and vicious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I was on vacation years ago, and I was taking a walk around the beach, and this cottage had like 2 dogs. They were getting ready to come after me,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Yay!"
Yeah.
I was like running, scared.
Yeah, I have been scared. I think I mentioned it once before about dogs.
They
Yeah.
didn't come near me, but they could have.
Yeah.
Because they were like getting ready to come after me.
Many times, I always think a lot of dog owners are real jerks, and a lot of times after the dog bites you, or at least chases you, the owner says, "Well, you must have done something to upset him because he never bothers anybody." I said, "Oh, well, why did your dog take a new leaf once I showed up?"
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm never home, so I can't. I'm always out and about, so I can't take care of animals. I can't even take care of goldfish or anything.
At least my dad said to take care of mine sometimes.
You see, that's just it. My parents said, if you want any pets, I'm not going to be the one cleaning up after the dog. I'm not going to be the one cleaning up after in the litter box and stuff. If that's what you want, and I think eventually we did relent, but we did. They held us to that too.
Yeah.
It's a fool if you think a little kid is going to do it, like 10, maybe even 12 and younger. Once they're 13, 14, they probably have a modicum of sophistication and responsibility that they will take care of animals, feed the animals, give them water when they need it, that type of thing. But little kids just, I remember working in a movie theater, and someone brought their dog, one of the people, and everyone was so excited about the dog, and I wasn't very excited about the dog because last time that dog was there, the dog was pooping everywhere.
Wow.
And there were people like I didn't make the movies. I worked at the theater. I tore the tickets, and I was like, Kevin, clean it up. Oh, look at the lovely dog. Kevin, clean up the poop. And so they said, how come you're not so friendly with the dog? And I said, I was the one who had to clean it up. Clean up after you. You got the good. Huh?
Why do they even bring the dog anyway?
Well, I think when you work at a place and the boss isn't around,
Yeah.
you could bring a dog in.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to restaurants in Paris, people are eating their dinner with dogs and cats in their lap.
Oh. Wow.
My dad once brought a cat to the table while he was eating. And cats, with their litter box and the paws and everything, and getting on and walking on your dinner table and everything. And I said, Dad, we're not the French. I want you and your snails and your frog legs and go to the next room. In fact, eat above the litter box and see how much of your appetite comes back.
He must have loved animals. So.
Well, he does. He likes animals, but he likes animals, and I like animals too. But I like animals almost to the like an uncle likes his nieces and nephews. Oh, look at the cute little kids. Oh, the diaper needs to be changed. It's all yours. Who is that? I've never seen this animal before. That's the great thing about being an uncle or an aunt is that as soon as the kids get on your nerves, all right, get out of here. Where are the adults I can talk to?
Yeah.
So tell me about, so in New York, what'd you do when you were in New York?
I went to see the Radio City Rockettes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah, that is good. And I went to see Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
On Broadway. So it was great. It was a great show.
Michael Crawford.
Yeah.
He's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But he was good, yeah.
Yeah. And
he's not even in the movie.
Yeah.
Jared Butler.
Yeah, then we did a little shopping and all that.
Shopping.
Yeah.
Did you go to the M&M store?
Not this.
Not this.
I've been in it, I think.
I saw they have they almost anything M&M, and I don't mean the wrapper. I mean the delicious candy. That's probably my favorite candy. I love M&Ms.
I love M&Ms too.
So anyway, you go to the M&M store and they sell the things, with the talking M&Ms and everything, and the plush animals and the T-shirts and all that jazz. They actually have a place where you can get custom-made M&Ms with your name on them, or they could actually do your face and put them on an M&M.
Wow.
But don't think that that's not expensive. It costs something like $30, and you get about 10 of them.
Wow.
And your face is so small you can't even really see it.
Oh wow.
And if I brought those home to show to people, I know that as soon as my back is turned, some brat is going to just scarf them all. They're delicious. What are you, a cannibal? What is it, the Yellow Jackets? But the M&M store, I always like. It's one of those things I always look and say, oh, those M&Ms look good. Yeah. They also have something not at M&M's, but on stamps.com where you could put your picture on a stamp.
Oh.
And stamps. If stamps usually have presidents and movie stars and ball players on them and stuff, or events or landmarks or something. In fact, a new stamp for train stations has the one from Richmond here, the Main Street Station. I don't think it's out yet, but it will be out in 2023 with all a bunch of other ones. There's like about 20 different train stations. One of them is the one in Richmond. Yeah. So I'm a stamp collector, or kind of not a great one, but I do. When the stamps come out, I try to at least keep one unused stamp. So it intrigued me when they were trying to get people to buy stamps, because stamps are kind of going by the wayside. Everyone's emailing now. Yeah. That I saw, and I love the ones with the ball players. I love the ones with the movie stars. If I've met somebody, I was actually selling stamps where I used to work. I would buy the stamps, then sell them. Those days they were like 40 cents, I think. Now they're about 60 cents. But they were like 40 or 42 cents, and people would buy them from me. I'd sell them to them at cost. And I had my picture taken with some famous people, Charlton Heston. I had my picture taken with Miles Davis. And what happened was, on the color copier, I made pictures of myself from the original photos I had of these people. Yeah. And then if you bought a Charlton Heston stamp or a Miles Davis stamp, I gave you a free autographed picture of me and them. Mr. Big Shot. Yeah. You could put in your wallet, or you could spit on it. I don't care. But anyway, you bought the stamp from me. But anyway, stamps, to be on a stamp, you have to be dead. It used to be 20 years. If you were an ex-president, I think it was like 6 months. They made a little, but you're still dead. No matter, you'll never see yourself on a postage stamp, an American postage stamp. Maybe in other countries you can. Now, what was funny was the idea that you could buy stamps, but even when they were like 40 cents each, these stamps you could upload a picture to a software, and then you could print these stamps and pay, and then you could put them on. What usually people do is, like, if there's a wedding or a bar mitzvah or a birth or something, people will upload a picture of the people involved, and then they'll put that on the invites, and you say, "Oh, look, Joey and Kathy are on the stamp, and I know this is from them because the wedding announcement is in there, or the invite or something." So they were like $1.50 each, and if I had $1.50 per stamp, I wouldn't want to waste it, have it canceled. Yeah. Yeah. But it's kind of neat to see yourself on a stamp. There's also stuff on on Snapchat and stuff where you can put yourself on a stamp, and a fake stamp, and show it to all your friends. Yeah. I did that once with a stamp, a forever stamp, and somebody just sent it back to me all with postmarks all over it. Canceled. Do not deliver. Which I thought was hilarious. Anyway, you know who got a stamp this year? Shel Silverstein. Really? Who wrote he wrote The Light in the Attic. Oh yeah. Yeah, and I remember Shel from all the great songs he wrote, country music songs. He wrote The Unicorn, and he wrote The Boy Named Sue and Cover of the Rolling. A lot of Dr. Hook songs, a lot of Bobby Bear songs, a lot of Johnny Cash songs. But the way he sang them was even funny, because he sang a lot of weird stuff, and he narrated a lot of stuff. But I think he's most famous, as it shows you how you get famous, because he was a songwriter, poet, cartoonist, and also children's book writer, which I think he came late to, and that's what he's most famous for, is children's book writer. Yeah. I mentioned Shel once to somebody, and they said, "Oh, you mean the guy who writes children's books?" And I didn't even give that thought. Oh yeah, he does write children's books. Yeah. He was on, I think, I've only seen him on 2 shows, Letterman, in the early days, like in the 1980s, and in the 1960s he once appeared on the Johnny Cash show.
Wow.
But I've just been immersed in Shel Silverstein music lately. So he's from Chicago, and what else? So let me tell you so where else you go in New York? Like where'd you go to eat?
I went to Hard Rock Cafe.
Hard Rock Cafe. Did you eat some rocks there? They have rock candy. What do they have there?
They have hamburgers.
Hamburgers. Oh, great.
Yeah, that's what I got, and fries.
You went all the way there to get a hamburger. Yeah, I hope. Was it that Kobe beef that you always hear about it from Japan or something?
I don't know what kind of, but it was really good though.
I'm sure it is. What's not to like about a hamburger?
That's right.
Yeah. Although I don't really care for hamburgers. I like cheeseburgers. I mean, I like a hamburger. If it doesn't have cheese on it, then I don't want it. You know, cheeseburgers aren't kosher.
Yeah.
Meat and milk cannot coexist in the same plate or dinner or whatever.
Right.
And sadly, we went to a funeral of a friend of ours recently, just today. That's why we're all dressed up.
Yep.
And it was at the cemetery, and then we were talking about the Shabbos and Jewish laws and everything. And whenever I went to a Jewish restaurant, Jewish delicatessen usually, sometimes they would have a Reuben sandwich, and a Reuben sandwich is meat, is pastrami, I think, pastrami and Swiss cheese and other things on it, but that's not kosher. If you want a kosher pastrami sandwich like you would get at Katz's Deli in New York, it's just bread and meat.
Yeah.
You could eat cheese and you could eat meat, but you can't mix them together. I don't know how. I don't know why, but I mean, there's a reason. There's always a reason for stuff.
There's a restaurant called Pearlie's in
town,
and it's really good.
Oh yeah, they're
we
all
should
good.
go there sometime.
We should. If you like spicy.
I love
food.
it. I love it.
So I used to go to another place in Richmond, the New York Deli. I used to go to the Boulevard Deli, and Pearlie's, of course. And I always wondered why at these restaurants they'll have like bacon, and they'll have ham, and they'll have and I was like, wait, I thought this was a Jewish restaurant. Why do you have that? And they say, well, it's not really made from the pig. It's made from it is made from turkey. Turkey ham, turkey bacon. It tastes the same, almost the same. I mean, if you're a connoisseur of that stuff, it's not as greasy. It's probably better for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, the spices used, the peppercorns that they use in corned beef, and they use, that's why you get corned beef. It's not, has nothing to do with ears of corn. It has to do with peppercorns.
Yeah.
Corns, and it's a type of what do you call it? What's the thing that keeps preservative? See, Jewish people, when they came to America, were very poor, so they had to figure out a way to stretch things. That's why a lot of vinegar in their food, a lot of salt in their food, a lot of peppercorns in their food, anything that kept the things going longer. People started to get used to the taste, but you know, other ethnicities like Italians, they don't do that. So they have, you know, tomatoes and real good stuff in their food.
Yeah.
That's why Jewish people are always eating at Italian restaurants.
Yeah.
Pat Cooper, the comedian, has a joke. He said that Jews always go to Italian restaurants and they always go to Chinese restaurants. If there were no more Jews, we'd have to close 2 countries. So anyway, so I was at Pearlie's. Last time I was at Pearlie's, I had a little problem with a waiter. I don't usually like to upset people that are waiting on me. In fact, I prefer not to have a waiter at all.
Yeah.
I like the buffet style of anything.
Yeah.
Because you get anyone mad. I don't want the waiter special. So anyway, so the waiter came, and I everyone knows me, and you know me, and you people watching this show know me.
Yes.
That I'm always talking.
Yep.
And the waiter said, I was like right in the middle of a really great story, and I was getting right to the main point and the punchline, and then he interrupted to say, "Oh, does anyone want an egg cream or something?" And then I was like, "Oh, where was I?" And then I started continuing. And the story had completely lost its thrust at that point.
Yeah.
So somebody, there's always someone mouthing on. I think you interrupted his story, and the waiter said, "I see this guy." He didn't know my name. "I see this guy all over town. I see him all over the internet. I see him sometimes on television. This guy never stops talking, and the waiters has to wait for a break to interrupt so they could talk to the people at the table.
Yeah.
This guy never stops talking. There's no way he doesn't take a breath." And I said, "Yeah, I guess I'm always." He goes, "You're always have something to say." Oh, as Groucho said, I was vaccinated with a photograph needle. So I said, "Oh man, I've already raised the ire of the." So after that time, every time the waiter came around, I just kind of was quiet.
Yeah.
I didn't want the waiter special because he seemed kind of mad at me that it was brought up then. I would have preferred never knowing that, but now I know that. So now when I go to a restaurant, I try to not have such long-winded stories.
Yeah.
I save it for all of you and the audience here.
Right.
We did a show. We did a show in February, I think it was, or January. No, we did a show, the Kaye Lazar's Cavalcade of Fun.
Yeah.
The first time in many years, like 20 years or so, that I did that show. We did it for like a month, and we're probably going to bring it back in May, I think.
Yeah.
But what happened was, and Mary was on every show pretty
Yes.
much, and Vinnie Mac was on the shows, and what was funny was I was trying, the shows I used to do in a different studio 20 years ago. It was more of a variety show, like an Ed Sullivan show. We had guests and we had topics and everything. This one was the Kaye Lazar's Cavalcade of Fun. The new version wasn't a whole lot different from this show.
Yeah.
The same two people talking. Only we had, better production values. A cameraman and and a backdrop and a band and a.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yay. Here come the birds.
We couldn't afford a band, so we just had a guy playing music on his top of his head with his mouth open. Played Jingle Bells and Happy Birthday and Take Me Out to the Ball Game. He was really good. Only songs in the public domain. That's all we could afford.
Yeah.
So that was the show, and so if you saw that show, it wasn't a whole lot different from the show we're doing now, and I don't know how to make my shows any different. Shows I appear on. That's why I rely on. That's why I always think shows are better with other people. I mean, as many guests as possible. Yeah. We have lots of geese. Geese aren't very good conversationalists, though.
Yeah.
And we're gonna. I think we did great. Do you want to do another second half of the show?
Yes.
Do you want to do another second half of the show?
Yes, I do.
Let's do it.
God bless you all.
All right.
See you.
See you at part 2 of the
Mary Elizabeth Jones's Friday Hour.
Here.
God bless you.
Hello.